Okay, let's get straight to the point. Let's talk about the sad breaking news coming out of Costa Rica about Malcolm-Jamal Warner. It's been all over TMZ. They reported about it, and according to the reports, Malcolm-Jamal Warner died at age 54, and they said that it was due to drowning. He was out there in the water, and don't know if he can swim or not swim, but when you're out there in a large body of water, it don't matter how good you can swim. It only takes just a little for you to go under, and then, there's a chance you might not come back up, depending on how that situation goes. And unfortunately for Malcolm-Jamal Warner, he was on vacation with his family, his wife, his daughter, and I think his mother. And this got to be a sad situation. So rest in peace to Malcolm-Jamal Warner, and condolences to his family. Now, we all know Malcolm-Jamal Warner is a child superstar from one of our favorite shows growing up, and that is the Bill Cosby Show. It wasn't nobody that didn't watch the Bill Cosby Show back in the days. Everybody watched it. But this video right here is about this guy right here, Jim Sciutto. He is a CNN news reporter anchor on CNN. And unfortunately, you have people sometimes that be a little disrespectful and don't be mindful of what they say or what they put out. So Jim Sciutto decided upon himself, talking about the Malcolm-Jamal Warner and reporting about him passing away in Costa Rica. He decided he wanted to talk about how Malcolm-Jamal Warner feel about Bill Cosby. He don't say anything about condolences to his family. He don't talk about none of Malcolm-Jamal Warner accolades or nothing about Malcolm-Jamal Warner. Strictly about Malcolm-Jamal Warner and what happened with Bill Cosby. Let's get into this video and listen to this, because a lot of supporters of Malcolm-Jamal Warner and just a lot of people in general got in the comment section and they criticized him, and they talked about CNN so bad. Let's check out this video. Let's go.
Malcolm-Jamal Warner, dead at the age of 54 on a drowning accident while he was vacationing with his family in Costa Rica. Joining us now, Bomani Jones, host of the Right Time with Bomani Jones podcast, and entertainment journalist Segun Odulo to share their thoughts there. And Bomani, if I could begin with you, of course it was difficult, and he spoke quite publicly about this, Malcolm-Jamal Warner, when Bill Cosby was accused, later convicted of multiple cases of sexual assault. He was asked about it in a 2015 interview, and he said, "He's one of my mentors, and he's been very influential, played a big role in my life as a friend and mentor. Just as it's painful to hear any woman talk about sexual assault, whether true or not, it's just as painful to watch my friend and mentor go through this." How did he handle in the years since he left the show, just that the larger Bill Cosby controversy and scandal?
So immediately, fans, supporters, and just people in general with a heart got in the comment section, and they started letting CNN having it for even posting this video, and definitely getting on Jim Sciutto. Somebody said this: the starting of this conversation is wild. What does Bill Cosby have to do with him just passing away from drowning? I 100% agree with that. Malcolm-Jamal Warner has an identity and a life of his own. Yes, he came from the Bill Cosby Show, but the man has accolades and like I said, he's his own man. But him drowning, why are we talking about Bill Cosby and his allegations? Crazy. Let's keep going. Someone said, "I hate that the first question was asked was not about Malcolm-Jamal Warner or his family, but about Bill Cosby. What a gross question." And that's 100% right. This guy didn't even think about sending condolences to the family, or even just concerned about how the daughter is doing. The mother. He wanted to know straight about what Malcolm think about the whole Bill Cosby situation. Malcolm, unfortunately, can't think about nothing. He has lost his life on vacation, and you want to know about what he thought about Bill Cosby and that whole situation? Crazy. Then someone else said, "Why is this about Bill Cosby before honoring Malcolm properly? Thank you, Brianna, for bringing the focus back where it should be." But also, Brianna is the other host that was on the show. But I want to say, we're going to get into this because I want to say, but money brought it back. Then someone else said this: "Why is the first thing the news talk about something negative about Cosby? The media is so disrespectful. This should be only about Brother Warner. Rest easy, brother." And someone else said, "Are you serious? CNN, question mark. This isn't about his response to any accusations involving Bill Cosby. How gross and pathetic of you." I agree with all these comments. I can go on and on and on because there are so many comments flooding this video over there on YouTube, and they are upset, and they have every right to be. But let's go to this last comment I'm gonna point out. And this person said, "We don't care about Cosby. Talk about Malcolm and his accomplishment and achievements. That is what really is more important." Now, I want to say shout out to Bomani Jones. He is really a sports commentator, but they have him on here. Now, he did a good job because the gym guy tossed it off to him to try to give a response. And Bomani did a good job of basically reeling it back in and really just sidestepping the question. And basically he ended it basically with, look at what I'm supposed to say about this. Y'all check out this audio. Let's go.
I mean, I guess you would argue that he handled it about as well as he could, because it's not like what Bill Cosby did is something that he himself could answer for. And it's got to be super tricky, not only because Cosby was kind of a vehicle for the fame and what his life ultimately became, but also because specifically the vehicle that they were attached to was so attached to the idea of wholesomeness, and that this guy is like everybody's dad. And then you find out that your dad perhaps might be a terrible person. That's a rough go for anybody. And so I noticed for all the members of that cast, for us, Bill Cosby was just kind of he's not somebody we knew in general. He's just an idea. And so for those people, you're reckoning with the person you thought you know, the person that was actually there, and the idea that happened to be a vehicle for everything that happened in your life. So it's kind of hard for me to evaluate how anybody would or would not have handled it, because it's such a particular situation.
Like I say, I feel like Bomani Jones did a good job of curving that question, starting off with Bill Cosby. I mean, you know, people be getting on Bomani Jones sometimes, but in this situation, I think he did a great job of just basically saying, look, at Malcolm-Jamal Warner can't answer no questions about nothing about Bill Cosby. Even if he was alive, Malcolm-Jamal Warner, what can he say about Bill Cosby? What happened with Bill Cosby happened with Bill Cosby. That do not reflect nothing on Malcolm-Jamal Warner. And that's it on that. Now, Malcolm-Jamal Warner should be remembered for a lot of things, but you know we got to go to the Gordon Court Trail. We got to go to this. Everybody remember this episode from the Cosby Show. Everyone. This right here was one of the most iconic episodes and the scenes on the Bill Cosby Show. They had a lot of them, but this definitely goes down in the history books. This shirt, the Gordon Court Trail shirt, whatever, you know what I'm talking about, it should be in some museum somewhere. For real. Like, Malcolm-Jamal Warner family should have a museum up for people to come see this shirt. Because I guarantee you, everyone would love to go see a picture of the Gordon Court Trail shirt. That's if it's not already in a museum somewhere that it may be, and I don't know. If it is, y'all let me know. But also, Malcolm-Jamal Warner was also a musician. He sings. He also does poetry. He had a band. So he was into some of everything, just living his life out loud, enjoying himself, away from Hollywood, but doing his thing. Now, Malcolm-Jamal Warner also had a show called Malcolm and Eddie. And him and Eddie Griffin, who's a comedian, was really good friends. And he reacted to it. A lot of people was waiting on him because he was really close. He went to his IG page and he said this: "My heart is heavy today, for what the world lost was a father, a son, a poet, a musician, an actor, a teacher, a writer, a director, a friend, a warrior that I had the pleasure of going to war with against the Hollywood machine, and sometimes with each other, because that's what brothers do. But the love was and always there. You taught me so much, and I thank you. Rest well, my big little brother." That's from Eddie Griffin. Like I say, him and Malcolm-Jamal Warner had a great relationship. Their sitcom show was actually good, you know, but sitcoms just ain't what it used to be. You can put out a good sitcom, but the world we live in now, people are just not just tuning in to a TV. They don't need phones, and everything's quick and fast. But like I said, once again, rest in peace to Malcolm-Jamal Warner. Condolences to his family. Y'all get in the comments what y'all think. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, like and share my video. I'm Gertie Mac. Holla.